Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura. And did you know that you could buy glow-in-the-dark thread? Glow-in-the-dark thread is a lot of fun to use and it has a lot of possibilities. Superior Thread sells a whole line with many different colors. They have pink, white, green, many different colors. And what I'm going to do with this today is I'm going to make a hug pillow. I have a little tyke who's sort of afraid of the dark, and I think it'd be fun to make a pillow that he can hug that has a little bit of light in it. And the thread is going to give me the light. I'm also going to use a pillow form. However, for this pillow, you could just stuff it yourself. And the pillow form I'm going to use is 13 by 20 because I want a longer pillow versus a square pillow. Then, of course, we have the fabric. I wanted a child's fabric because this is going to be for a child. I'm going to choose this fabric from Timeless Treasures for the back of the pillow, and I'm going to use this alligator in the front. And this is where all the embroidery is going to go on. And it's not going to use an embroidery machine. You're going to be able to use a zigzag stitch on your machine. To start with, I'm going to use this piece of fabric. And my pillow is 13 by 20, but I'm going to cut this at least 2 inches bigger so that I can get the embroidery done on it, and then I can trim it down later. The other thing is I'm going to put a stabilizer on the back, and you can get one that irons right on, or you can get a tearaway, whatever one you'd like. I'm just going to use this lightweight, and I'm going to fuse it on the back, and it's going to stay there. So working on the front of the pillow, I'm going to draw the inside measurement. And my pillow's 13 by 20, so it's 13 by 20. And that way I will make sure that none of my embroidery falls to the outside of the marking. The next thing I'm going to do is make my hugs. Now what I'm using is a friction pen. And with heat, the mark comes off. So this makes it a very easy tool. You will not have to launder this or erase your pencil marks. And to make the hugs, I'm going to use my hands. I'm going to put one hand down and I'm going to trace it. Then I'm going to put the other hand down on the other side and I'm going to trace it. Now in between the 2 marks of my hand, I'm going to write the word hug. And I'm going to join my H to my hand and my G to my hand. So my hands and my hug word are penciled on. Now I need to set up the machine. Now when you use the thread that glows in the dark, if you just do a straight stitch, the line is going to be so thin, it's not going to give that nice glow that you want. So you should do a thick stitch. So if you do a zigzag or a satin stitch, then it's going to be thicker, so it's going to hold the light and it's going to show up more. So I've tested my stitch on the fabric that I'm going to use with the stabilizer I'm going to use. I've changed my tension to 3. So you can always start with 3 and see what your machine likes, but play around with your tension until you get the right stitch. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on an open toe foot. That way I can see the work that I'm going to do. And once your machine is set up, all you need to do is follow the outline that you drew from one hand over to the hugs and over to the other hand. So now I have my big alligator hug all put on. And again, it was just used with a very tight zigzag stitch. Now because my pillow is 13 by 20, I will need to cut the pillowcase 1 inch bigger. So I'm going to cut the piece that I did the stitching on in the background. I am going to cut it 14 by 21. So the back and fronts are the same size. And you can stitch all the way around, leaving an opening in one end. And you have to leave a generous opening because you need to put that entire pillow form in. So a little opening like this is not going to cut it. So leave a nice big opening to work with. So after we've stitched all the way around, we need to trim off this little corner. And just trim it on an angle right close to the threads, but don't cut into the threads. And do that to all 4 of the corners. And by cutting off that corner, when you turn it right side out, it's going to give you more of a point. The next thing is this opening. What I like to do is I like to press the seam onto itself as if there was stitching there, but there's not. And that way when you turn the bag right side out, this is already folded for you. It'll be a lot easier to hand close. Now turn the pillowcase right side out and poke out your corners. Pressing it is important at this point. Make sure it's nice and flat because it's definitely going to be harder to iron once the pillow is in it. Now we need to get the pillow inside. Now because you've already pressed that seam to the inside, you're going to be able to just whip stitch that pillow closed. So my hug pillow is done. Now I could have done the stitching in a glow-in-the-dark thread that you could have actually seen, but well, I wanted it as a secret message. Now you could put any message on any pillow that you wanted to, and you can use it for many, many other things. It's a fun project to do. I'll put a link in the description to the thread and the fabric. And as always, thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, come on back. Let's see what we're sewing next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.